Hi guys, it's Stock Curry, and some patterns have been discovered that can help you make money during this stock market correction. I also have some huge news coming out of China, some good, some bad, and I've got a few stock picks for you. So let's get into it! Okay, first we need to talk about some economic news that could really move the markets. On Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., there is going to be the release of the CPI inflation numbers. And if those inflation numbers come in a lot higher than expected, that could put a significant downturn on the market because it could force the Fed to start tapering a lot sooner than they had perhaps originally wanted to. Now, if the CPI inflation numbers on Tuesday come out a lot lower than expected, then that could cause for a nice green day in the markets on Tuesday. Just keep in mind that high inflation is going to mostly be bad for your high growth NASDAQ stocks. Over 80% of the Russell 2000 stocks are already in correction territory. That's going to start flowing over into some of the larger cap stocks over the next couple of weeks, starting most likely with the NASDAQ. So keep your eye on the pre-markets and just expect a lot of volatility starting at around 8:30 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. Now, to go along with that, the Fed meets next week, and we do expect Jerome Powell to be speaking on Wednesday of next week, and we're trying to figure out when they might start tapering. We're getting a little bit more clarity on that. Hopefully, we will have a lot more clarity this month after the CPI inflation numbers come out. Now, moving on to the market correction, the traveling trader showed us how going back 22 years, September 17th is normally the beginning of the downturn in the market. Actually, not normally, it is 100% of the time. 100% of the time, September 17th is the top of the market, and we start going down the day after that. And so this year, that actually puts us, September 17th is Friday, so I think we're going to September 20th is when the market starts going down this year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a link to the Traveling Traders video in the description of this video. Go check it out and just see all the details of what the Traveling Trader actually had to say about that. The other thing is there was a very interesting pattern that has been discovered. Over the past 5 trading days, the markets have opened really high, and then almost immediately, within an hour, they have tanked. And so I noticed that pattern. I actually took advantage by buying some put options on the SPY and QQQ this morning right at the market open. About 4 minutes after it opened, I got those filled. And within an hour, I was up over 100% on the QQQ put, and I was up about 50% on the SPY put. And I alerted those trades in the Discord, I alerted them on Twitter, I alerted them on Facebook. And so hopefully you guys jumped in there and made some good money today. As far as the markets opening high and then dropping immediately, this is mostly for my day traders out there, but swing traders, you can pay attention as well because it gives you an idea on when to buy in and when to sell as far as the highs and lows of the day. Now, on Tuesday, it's a really big uncertain. It really depends upon what the CPI numbers do. But going into the rest of the week, we may get kind of flat, maybe a little up. We'll see. But come Friday, I do plan to go pretty heavy on put options on SPY and QQQ. And then Monday, I'm going to just load up with everything I got left. I am going to go all out on put options on SPY and QQQ on Friday and then Monday of next week. Because I do believe that we are in the beginning of a market correction. I do believe that since the S&P has historically topped out on September 17th every single year for the past 22 years in a row, I do believe that we are going to see a downturn in the market next week. And I want to take advantage of that, and I want to make some money. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Keep your eye out on Twitter and Facebook. If you're not currently following me there, you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook. I've got the link for both of those right here. It's just facebook.com/realscottcurry and twitter.com/realscottcurry. Super easy. And then if you want more up-to-the-minute information, then you can go join the Discord. I'll put a link down here for that as well. It's scottcurry.me/discord. Okay. Let's get into the stock picks for today, because like I said, I've got some huge news coming out of China I want to share with you, and we're also going to talk about some really big news with crypto. It was actually fake news, but we'll talk about it. Let's get into those. For those of you guys who are new to this channel, my name is Stock Curry. I used to work as an analyst for some large investment banks, and now I analyze stock picks on YouTube. Every day I watch hours and hours and hours of YouTube videos, and then I consolidate all of the stock picks from the top YouTubers and I put them together into a single video. I give you both the cliff notes on their stock picks as well as my analysis on their stock picks. Now, if anything I talk about today piques your interest, make sure you listen to who I say talked about that stock and then go watch their video to get the full details on what they said. Now, all I ask for putting all of this together for you guys is that you hit that like button, subscribe, and follow the page so that you can get notified when I release my next video. In fact, I'll give you 5 seconds to do that right now. All right, before we get into today's stock picks, I just want to remind you that I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I talk about today is a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold. These are just my opinions, which may or may not be accurate. Please do your own research before investing in any asset. For those of you who are wondering what you're looking at right now, this is the Webull desktop app. Webull is the app that I use for my trading, and it is also the app that I use in all of my videos. All right, let's get into today's stock and crypto picks. And first up is LTC. This is Litecoin. LTC is a fork of Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin is the gold of cryptocurrencies, then Litecoin is the silver of cryptocurrencies. Keena Grace explained why LTC saw a very significant, although brief, spike on Monday. Global Newswire released an article that said Walmart had announced a major partnership with Litecoin. When the news initially came out, the coin jumped around 35% in just a few short minutes. Then suddenly, the news was removed from Global Newswire's website. As soon as the news was removed, CNBC released an article saying the Walmart announcement was fake. LTC tumbled all the way back down to $180 when that happened. Later, Walmart came out and confirmed that the news was not authentic. There is now an investigation taking place with Walmart and Global Newswire to determine why the fake news was released. All of that said, Keena Grace said LTC remains a great long-term hold, and he showed us how LTC was over $400 earlier this year and how it has plenty of room to run up. Now, if you like to trade cryptocurrencies, especially if you're an active cryptocurrency trader, I have some huge news coming up for you at the end of this video. I found a new broker that has a commission of only 0.18% and no bid-ask spread. That is way better than Webull. It's better than Crypto.com, which I'm a huge fan of. It's better than Coinbase. It's better than any broker I have ever found before. So stay tuned to the end of this video, and I'm going to talk about the broker that has a 0.18% exchange fee on cryptocurrencies with no bid-ask spread. Next up is ATER. This is Ethereum. ZipTrader gave us an update on ATER, which ran up over 50% on Monday. Both ZipTrader and myself expected ATER to have a pullback on Monday, but instead it blew through resistance and started its short squeeze. Only a few short sellers covered on Monday, so ATER still has a lot more room to run up if the short squeeze continues. ZipTrader did warn that once ATER does pull back, it might not ever go back up again. So he suggested setting a trailing stop loss in ATER so that you don't get burned. Next up is BABA. This is Alibaba, and they're the Chinese version of Amazon. Jeremy with Financial Education talked about some new issues with BABA that could keep the stock price down for some time. News was just released that BABA quote-unquote donated a third of its cash to Chinese initiatives. Now, of course, nobody believes this was a donation. Pretty much everybody believes that the Chinese government forced them to hand over the cash. Jeremy with Financial Education called the donation a shakedown by the Chinese government. He said there are legitimate reasons to be fearful right now, and that now is not the time to be investing in Chinese companies. I will just throw out an alternative thought out there. This donation may have been a bribe so that the Chinese government will help BABA with some future expansion effort. So there's a chance that this might actually be a good thing. A little later in this video, when I talk about NIO, I'll give you another take where StockMo sees China's shakedown as a positive. Next up is CHPT. This is ChargePoint. They're the largest charging station company in North America. Their market share is down to 45%, but they are starting to expand globally. Chris Zane bought CHPT today, and he's up about 3% on his position so far. I told you yesterday that CHPT was at support and that I had purchased some call options on CHPT. CHPT held its support level of $20.75 on Monday. That said, it did not rise above the 10-day EMA, and the MACD is still bearish. So I will hold off on adding any more options or shares to my position until CHPT drops down to $19.60 or until it turns up and starts showing some signs of bullishness. Next up is CLF. This is Cleveland Cliffs. They're an iron mining and steel manufacturing company. Chris Zane bought more CLF on Monday. You might remember how I ranked CLF as my #1 long-term hold stock to buy right now. I got this play from Chris Zane, and he said that this has been one of his best performing long-term holds. CLF will often drop down to the 100-day EMA, which it got close to on Monday but did not quite hit. The 100-day EMA closed Monday at $21.69. CLF might continue to fall along with the overall market correction. The last time we got a market correction, back in September of last year, CLF dropped below the 300-day EMA. I like the idea of dollar cost averaging into CLF starting at price points under $22. Next up is LIFE. This is ATER Pharma. Keenan Grace let us know why LIFE jumped over 70% today. The stock is up on news that LIFE is reaching an endpoint on its research and trials for their leading drug candidates. The next step would be for LIFE to apply for FDA approval. The stock might come down a little after Monday's run-up, but longer term might be a good hold for a possible FDA approval if you like investing in pharma stocks. Next up is NIO. This is NIO, and they're a Chinese EV manufacturer. StockMo covered some news coming out of China about how the Chinese government wants to consolidate China's EV industry. They called the EV industry bloated and said they want to consolidate some companies because they say there are too many players. China is concerned that these smaller players have idle capacity that could be used by the larger EV companies. The average production capacity utilization rate for automakers in China overall was only 53% last year. StockMo thinks NIO will benefit from this, and he thinks the Chinese government might give some of these smaller companies to NIO. The reason StockMo thinks the Chinese government will help NIO is because they've helped NIO in the past, and they've invited NIO to the table to help write regulations for the industry. Also, unlike some of these smaller players who are struggling to use up all of their capacity, NIO is actually struggling to find more production capacity because they don't have enough production capacity to meet demand. Next up is SPRT. This is support.com. Keenan Grace let us know that the SPRT merger with Greenridge will close Tuesday after the close of trading. So starting Wednesday, the ticker symbol for SPRT will be GREE. That will also affect the short interest since two companies are merging. So we'll have to check on Wednesday to see what happens with GREE. The price action could get quite volatile starting on Wednesday. ZipTrader talked about how $15 would be a good buy-in price for a possible rebound, but just keep in mind that the price action on Wednesday might completely mess that up. The last stock we're going to talk about today is TSLA. This is Tesla, and they're an American EV manufacturer. Tom Nash explained why Cathie Wood sold over $100 million worth of TSLA last week. The first thing to notice is that while the dollar amount was high, the percentage was small, equating to only 4% of her total holdings. Now, as Tom Nash pointed out, the reason ARK Invest sold shares was to rebalance their portfolio. As TSLA rises in price, ARK Invest sells shares to keep the position as close to 10 or 11% as possible. And that's it. That's the only reason Cathie Wood sold. So if you see articles talking about ARK Invest selling shares and implying that Cathie Woods has lost her conviction on TSLA, make sure to check Lucid Tracking to verify just how much she actually sold. Because $100 million sounds like a lot, but 4% is actually quite small. If you want access to Lucid Tracking, I have an invite link for it on my resources page. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video and got a lot out of it. Comment down below what your favorite stock pick is. And if you're looking for a broker to trade with, you can sign up for Webull using my link in the description below. When you sign up using my link in the description below and deposit just $100, Webull is going to send you 2 free stocks worth up to $2,300. Now, if you're not a US resident, or if you're looking to trade OTC penny stocks, or if you just don't like payment for order flow, then I recommend Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers is a great trading platform. They have highly discounted trading throughout the world. And I said yesterday I'd have some really big news for you on Interactive Brokers. They just released cryptocurrency trading. They've got the major cryptos over there, such as Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, I think Litecoin. It's just a few to get started, but they are adding additional cryptocurrencies. For the time being, though, what makes Interactive Brokers so great for trading crypto is the fact that they are not having this huge bid-ask spread like a lot of brokers do. Normally, when you buy on an exchange, you don't have a bid-ask spread. You just have a set price, and then you just pay a fee for the buy and the sell. And on a broker such as Webull, you have a major bid-ask spread. There's no fee, it's free, but you're paying for it in the bid-ask spread. Now, the way Interactive Brokers works is even though they're a broker, they're acting like an exchange in that there is no bid-ask spread, you just pay a fee. And what makes the fee so great on Interactive Brokers is that it's uber tiny. It's so small. The fee is like 0.1% or a little bit above that. It goes up to a maximum of like 1.5%. Whatever the fee is, it is much lower than the bid-ask spread on Webull, and it is also much lower than buying crypto on an exchange. Now, of course, being a broker, you don't own your crypto. You can't pull it out to a wallet, so just keep that in mind. But if you're looking for a broker to trade cryptocurrencies on, I cannot think of a better one than Interactive Brokers, given their extremely cheap trading fees. Like I said, they're a highly discounted broker for stocks, and they took that same model and they just created highly discounted trading for cryptocurrencies as well. So definitely go check out Interactive Brokers if you're interested in cryptocurrency trading. Again, I've got a link for Interactive Brokers on my resources page down here below. It's also in the description of this video. All right, guys, I hope you got a lot out of the video. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and follow the page if you haven't already. I hope you have a lot of success trading, and I will see you tomorrow.